Hello, my name is Grace Wace, and today my issue that I'll be discussing is music streaming royalty transparency. And so my idea is pretty simple, just make streaming companies give artists detailed data about their pay and not just one total number, but the artist should be able to see like what country streams and what the listeners from premium or ad supported and like what fees and were taken out. This basically to help the artist understand and check if they're paid fairly and fully. The main idea is require artists access to the detailed royalty data. Congress does not fix every problem, but the crash course explains that the decisions are influenced by public opinion, interest groups, and lobbying, political parties, and re-election. In this crash course was the congressional decisions. And for my issue, artists and fans may push Congress to act. The streaming companies and big music companies may lobby against these strict rules. So, what the federal government might do, so why federal, the national market, and copyright. So, um, Abernathy, in the book, in chapter 12, page 298, and the crash course congressional decisions, he responds to pressure and basically, so if voters and the media talk about un, unfair pay, the Congress is more likely to act upon that. Um, it it is basically of creating national reporting standard for loyalty statements. Yeah. So turning the idea into a law would be the quickest option would be a bill. A bill could require these companies to show the payment breakdown for the artists and their country and the tier type and all the deductions that they would accumulate. And the bill would follow these steps and to become a law and introduced, worked on and voted on and both the book and the crash course show that bills can slow down at many steps. And so in the Abernathy chapter 12, pages 301 to 305, and the crash course how a bill becomes a law. And next we're talking about the difference between the House and the Senate. And so the Congress has two chambers in the House, which is the House and the Senate, and both must pass the same bill. And so the Abernathy chapters 12 pages 294, plus bimetrical Congress in the crash course. The House might pass a stronger transparency bill quickly. The Senate might slow it down, and it could be the House would be a faster action, the Senate would be a slower action. For leaderships and committees where the bill lives or dies. And so basically committees are very important. Committees can hold hearings and rewrite the bills. And so the leadership is important too, which the leaders decide what time for a vote. If leaders don't really support it, then the bill might never reach the floor in time. And cited getting a lot of information from Abernathy chapter 12, pages 305, and the crash course congressional committees and the congressional leadership. So for the congressional decisions, so what influences the Congress, in Abernathy chapter 12, pages 106, the elections can affect what lawyers do. They pay attention to the voters, the donors, and then in news coverages. Supporting these transparencies may look pro-artist. Opponents may claim it costs money or that pressure shapes what Congress decides. And this is all inspected in this is all rendered in the congressional decisions and the congressional elections in the crash course as well. And for the separation of powers, the Congress versus the president, even if the Congress passes the bill, the president also matters. The president can sign it or veto it, and if the president chooses to veto it, the Congress may rewrite the bill, and it gets signed, and the president can shape the final result. And cited Chapter 13, pages 321 to 325, and the crash course separation of powers and presidential powers. And for the delegation plus how presidents govern. After the law passes, basically details still matter. It doesn't just go away. And the Congress often delegates the details of all these things. And presidents can also affect how strongly rules are enforced. Cited in Chapter 13, 337 in the Crash Course Congressional Delegation and How Presidents Govern. To close, thank you for listening. To sum up, my policy is a small federal fix. 2, require streaming services to show artists the math behind all their money. Passing it probably depends on the Congress committees, leadership elections, and the final results depending on the president and executive agencies. Thank you.